My daughter-in-law announced my death on Facebook. I found the post while sitting alive at my kitchen table. "Rest in peace, Dad," she wrote, 6 days before I saw it. They needed me dead for the insurance payout. Only problem, I was still alive. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and write in the comments what time it is where you are now. I sat there looking at my own funeral photos for 20 minutes. Casket, flowers, her crying next to it in a black dress. My son Michael standing behind her with his hand on her shoulder. Solemn face. The comments scrolled down the screen. "So sorry for your loss. He's in a better place. Praying for your family." I wasn't dead. I'd been alive in my house 12 miles away the entire time, working in my garage, watching the Tigers lose, making myself dinner, wondering why Michael hadn't returned my calls for 2 weeks. I called him. Voicemail. Called again. Voicemail. Texted, "We need to talk. Now." 3 hours later, my phone buzzed. "What's wrong?" "Check your wife's Facebook page." Dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again, then, "Dad, I can explain. I'll be there tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. That's not a good time. 9 a.m. I didn't sleep. Kept opening Facebook on my phone in the dark, refreshing the page. More comments appeared overnight. People I'd never met mourning me. Someone had posted a photo of me from years ago, me and Michael at his college graduation. "Heaven gained an angel," they'd written. Jessica had liked it. 2:47 a.m. according to the timestamp. My wife Linda died 3 years ago. Stroke. Fast. I held her hand and she was gone. Michael came to the funeral. Stayed 2 hours. Said he had to get back for work. Jessica didn't come. She was too emotional, Michael said. Couldn't handle it. I didn't push. They were young, building their lives. I understood, or thought I did. At 6:00 a.m. I got up, made coffee, couldn't drink it, put on a clean shirt, khakis. The shoes, Linda always said, made me look distinguished. I looked at myself in the mirror. Gray hair, 71 years old, face lined from 43 years at the plant before they offered buyouts. I looked alive, very alive. I drove to Michael's house, the one they'd bought 4 years ago. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Nice neighborhood. I'd given them $40,000 for the down payment. "We'll pay you back," Michael said. "This is just temporary." That was 4 years ago. I'd never asked about it. Figured he'd bring it up when he was ready. I pulled up at 8:52 a.m. The yard needed mowing. Michael's truck in the driveway. Jessica's SUV parked behind it. The SUV I'd co-signed for when her credit wasn't good enough. $680 a month. I knew because I'd been making the payments for 6 months after Michael said they were going through a tight spot. I walked to the front door, knocked, waited. Michael opened it 6 inches. "Hey, Dad." Not warm, not surprised, just factual. "We should talk inside," I said. "Actually, this isn't a great time. Benny's got a friend over and—" "Inside, now." Something in my voice made him step back. I walked in. The living room looked different. New couch, leather, expensive, big TV on the wall. Bigger than mine, bigger than necessary. Jessica came down the stairs, saw me, stopped 3 steps from the bottom. "Oh," she said. Just that. Oh. Surprised? I asked. Dad, let me explain. Michael started. Sit down, both of you. They sat on their new leather couch. I stayed standing. 6 days ago, I said, you posted photos of me dead, in a casket, with flowers. You told 300 people I was gone. Jessica looked at Michael. Michael looked at his hands. It was a mistake, Jessica said. A mistake. The funeral home sent us the photos from Uncle Jerry's service, and I thought I was confused. Uncle Jerry died 8 months ago. You posted my funeral 6 days ago. I mixed up the files on my phone, then deleted my number so I couldn't call and ruin the surprise. Michael's jaw tightened. Dad, you're making this into something it's not. Then explain what it is. Silence. The air conditioner hummed. Upstairs I heard kids laughing. Benny, my grandson, 7 years old. I'd seen him twice this year. Once in March when I drove over unannounced. Once in June when they needed a babysitter because their regular girl canceled. The insurance, Michael said quietly. I let that sit. What insurance? Your life insurance policy. The one you told me about. $250,000. You said I was the beneficiary. My hands were very steady. That surprised me. So, you killed me. We didn't kill you. We just... Jessica had this idea that if people thought you were gone, we could file the claim and... And what? I'd never find out? Never talk to anyone we both know? Never exist again? You don't go anywhere, Jessica said. Sharp, like I was being difficult. You don't use Facebook. You never leave your house except to go to the grocery store. We didn't think you'd find out. You thought? Things have been busy, Dad. We've got a lot going on. I looked around their living room. New couch, new TV, gaming system on the floor, Benny's toys everywhere, expensive toys, not the kind from Target, the kind from specialty stores. When did you file the claim? I asked. Michael didn't answer. When did you file the claim? 4 days ago, Jessica said. After the post got enough engagement to look real. We needed proof of death. Social media helps establish that. Have they paid out yet? They're reviewing it. Should process next week. I sat down. Not because I wanted to, because my legs decided I should. I sat in their armchair, new, matching the couch, and looked at my son. You were going to take $250,000 from my life insurance company while I was alive. We were going to pay it back, Michael said, eventually, when things stabilized. By letting me stay dead, it's not like we were hurting you. You'd never know. Until I died for real. Jessica waved her hand, dismissive. That's years away. We'd figure something out by then. Like what? Another funeral? Tell everyone I'd been in a coma? Dad, you're making this harder than it needs to be. Michael leaned forward, using his reasonable voice, the one he used when he wanted money. We're drowning here, the mortgage, the cars, Benny's school, Jessica's student loans. We needed help, and you've always said you'd be there for us. So you faked my death? We borrowed your death temporarily. I stood up. Where's Benny? Upstairs, Jessica said. And you're not going up there. He's my grandson. He thinks you're dead. We told him last week. Had a whole talk about heaven. He cried, "It's done." The rage was building now, hot and focused. I could feel it in my chest, in the way my vision seemed to sharpen. "You told him I was dead." "It was easier than explaining," Michael said. "Kids don't understand nuance. The nuance of fraud. It's not fraud if we were going to pay it back. It's fraud the moment you filed the claim." Jessica stood up. "You need to leave. You're upsetting us, and this isn't helping anyone." "I'm upsetting you." "Yes. Showing up here, making accusations. We made a mistake. We'll fix it. But you can't just barge in here and what? Ruin your scam?" Her face went cold. "Get out. I'll leave. But first, I'm going upstairs to see my grandson." "Like hell you are." She moved between me and the stairs. "He thinks you're gone. Seeing you will traumatize him." "More than lying to him?" "It's not lying if it's for his own good." I looked at Michael. "You agree with this?" He wouldn't meet my eyes. "Maybe you should go, Dad. We'll talk later when everyone's calmer." I walked to the door, stopped, turned back. "The $40,000 I gave you for the down payment, the car payments I've been covering, the $3,000 for the emergency root canal, the $1,500 when your furnace broke, the babysitting, the birthday gifts, the Christmas presents." My voice was level, steady. "I counted it up last night. $97,000 in 4 years, not counting my time, not counting the calls I made to help Michael get his job, not counting the hours I spent helping you move, twice." Jessica crossed her arms. "And you're going to ask for it back? That's low, even for you." "Even for me. We're your family. Family helps each other. You don't keep score. You faked my death for $250,000. That's different." "How?" She smiled. "Because we needed it." I left, got in my car, drove home with my hands tight on the wheel. Inside my house, the one Linda and I bought in 1979, paid off in 2003, I sat at the kitchen table and opened my laptop. The Facebook post was still up, still getting comments. Someone had added a memory. "Remember when Harold took us all fishing? Best day ever." I'd never taken anyone fishing. Didn't even know who wrote this. I called my lawyer, Daniel Brennan. Known him 30 years. Did our wills when Linda got sick. "Daniel, I need to file a police report for insurance fraud." "Against who?" "My son." Silence on the line. Then, "Come to my office. Bring everything." I printed out the Facebook post, screenshots of every comment, the dates. Jessica's profile showing she'd posted it. I printed my insurance policy showing I was alive and hadn't filed any claims. I printed my bank statement showing the transfers to Michael, every single one. $850 on January 12th, $680 on January 29th, $680 on February 28th. The pattern went back for pages. $12,000 in the first 6 months of this year alone, not counting the previous years, not counting the down payment, not counting the furniture I'd bought them when they moved in, not counting Linda's china cabinet I'd given Jessica because she said she'd always loved it, Linda's mother's china cabinet, the one Linda cried over when her mother died. "At least Jessica will treasure it," Linda had said. I found the text messages, went back 3 years, scrolled through, looked at the pattern. Michael's texts to me, 47 in 3 years, 31 of them asking for money or help, 8 of them confirming plans to meet that later got canceled, 5 of them wishing me happy birthday or Merry Christmas, 3 of them about nothing, just "How are you?" messages that went nowhere when I tried to respond. My texts to him, 284 in 3 years, asking how he was doing, asking about Benny, inviting them to dinner, inviting them to Tigers games, sending articles I thought he'd like, checking in. Most of them never got responses. The ones that did were short. Busy. Can't. Maybe later. I printed those too. At Daniel's office, I spread everything on his desk. He looked at it for 20 minutes. Didn't say anything, just read. His jaw got tighter as he went through the bank statements. "They filed a claim 4 days ago?" he asked. "That's what Jessica said." "The insurance company will investigate. They always do with large policies. They'll find you alive pretty quickly." "And then?" "Criminal charges, fraud, possibly identity theft, depending on how they filed. Michael's looking at felony charges. Jessica, too." "What do I need to do?" "Nothing. Let it play out." "But Harold," he looked at me over his reading glasses. "Are you sure? This will destroy him. Prison time, criminal record. He'll lose his job. He faked my death. He's your son. He told my grandson I was dead. He took $97,000 from me over 4 years and never said thank you. He tried to steal $250,000 more." Daniel nodded slowly. "Then we wait. The insurance company will call you when they verify you're alive, probably within a week. They'll involve law enforcement. You'll need to give a statement. After that, it's out of your hands." I drove home, made dinner. Chicken breast, green beans, same meal Linda used to make on Thursdays. I ate it at the table. Same table where we'd celebrated anniversaries, birthdays, holidays. Same table where Michael had done his homework. Where we'd told him Linda was sick. Where I'd sat alone after her funeral, wondering how to keep going. My phone rang at 8:00 p.m. Michael. I let it ring. Voicemail. He called again at 8:15, again at 8:30. Left a message at 9:00. "Dad, we need to talk. Jessica's really upset. She thinks you're going to do something crazy. Please call me back. We can work this out." I deleted it. Tuesday morning, a number I didn't recognize called. I answered. "Is this Harold Morrison?" "Yes." "This is Rebecca Chen from Midwest Mutual Life Insurance. We're calling regarding a death claim filed in your name. Policy number—" She read off my policy number. "Can you confirm your current status?" "I'm alive." Pause. "Can you verify your identity for me? Date of birth and social security number?" I gave them. "And you're aware that a death claim was filed for this policy?" "Yes. My son filed it. I'm alive. He committed fraud." Another pause. Longer. "Mr. Morrison, we'll need to investigate this further. Can you come to our office tomorrow morning? Bring identification and be prepared to give a full statement." "I'll be there. And Mr. Morrison, don't contact the individual who filed the claim. This is now a criminal matter." "Understood." Michael called 6 more times that day. I didn't answer. Jessica called twice. Left a voicemail. "You're being ridiculous. We're family. You can't do this to us. Michael's a wreck. You're hurting people. Over what? A misunderstanding? We said we'd fix it. You're being selfish. Selfish. I'd given them $97,000 and I was selfish. I went to the insurance company Wednesday morning, brought my driver's license, passport, birth certificate, met with Rebecca Chen and a man in a suit who said he was their fraud investigator. I gave my statement, showed them the Facebook post, showed them my bank records, showed them the texts. We'll be filing a police report, the investigator said. This will likely result in criminal charges. Are you prepared for that? Yes. Against your son? Yes. He nodded. Didn't judge. We'll be in touch. Friday morning, 2 police officers showed up at Michael's house. I know because Michael called me screaming. They arrested Jessica. They came to the house and arrested her in front of Benny. He's crying. He doesn't understand. How could you do this? I didn't do anything. You committed fraud. It was her idea. I didn't want to. She pushed me into it. You filed the paperwork. You signed the documents. They're saying I could go to prison. Yes. I'm your son. You faked my death to help our family. By stealing, we were going to pay it back. When? How? You're 6 months behind on a car I co-signed for. You never paid back the down payment, never paid back any of it. Because we don't have it. We're broke. So you committed fraud. What are we supposed to do now? Jessica's in jail. I have to find bail money, legal fees. I could lose my job if this gets out. We could lose the house. Benny could end up in foster care if we both go to prison. You should have thought of that before you killed me. I hung up, blocked his number, blocked Jessica's. Sat in my kitchen drinking coffee that had gone cold. Saturday morning I drove to the cemetery. Linda's grave. I brought flowers, daisies, her favorite, sat on the bench nearby. They faked my death, I told her. Our son, for money. The wind moved through the trees. Some kid somewhere was playing, laughing, life continuing. I gave him everything. You know I did. Everything you and I built, everything we saved. And it wasn't enough. A crow landed on a headstone 3 rows over, watched me. I don't know what we did wrong, but I did know. I knew exactly what we'd done wrong. We'd taught him that we'd always be there, always help, always catch him when he fell. We'd never let him fail, never let him struggle, never said no. You always said I was too soft on him, I told Linda's headstone. You were right. The crow flew away. Sunday evening my doorbell rang. I looked through the window. Michael, standing there in a wrinkled shirt, unshaven, looking smaller than I'd ever seen him. I opened the door, didn't invite him in. Jessica made bail, he said. Her parents took out a second mortgage. Good for them. Dad, please. We need help. The lawyer wants a $15,000 retainer. The insurance company's suing us for the claim plus damages. We're going to lose everything. Yes. You have to drop the charges. I didn't file charges. The insurance company did. The state did. You started this. No. You started this when you posted my funeral. It was a mistake. It was fraud. He stepped closer. You're really going to let your son go to prison? You're really going to blame me for the consequences of your choices? I'm 34 years old. I'm supposed to have my life together by now. Everyone else does. Everyone else has money and nice things, and we're drowning. You don't know what it's like. I worked at a plant for 43 years. I know exactly what it's like. You had it easier. Houses were cheaper. College was cheaper. Everything was cheaper. So you faked my death. We needed money. Get a job. I have a job. Get a second job. Cut expenses. Sell the leather couch. Cancel the streaming services. Stop buying toys Benny doesn't need. I leaned against the doorframe. Or here's an idea. Don't commit felonies. His face crumpled. You're really not going to help. I've helped you for 4 years, gave you $97,000, co-signed your wife's car, made myself available whenever you called, which was only when you needed something. That's not true. When did you last call me just to talk? He opened his mouth, closed it. When did you last invite me over when you didn't need a babysitter? Nothing. When did you last ask how I was doing? I'm busy. I've got a kid, a job, a life. And I'm alone in a house where my wife died. But you didn't think about that. You never said you needed help. I shouldn't have to ask my son to care about me. He stood there. Traffic hummed on the street behind him. Someone's sprinkler system turned on 3 houses down. So that's it, he said finally. You're done with me. You were done with me first. You just didn't bother to tell me. I'm your son, and you faked my death. He turned, walked to his truck, stopped with his hand on the door handle. Benny asks about you every day. He doesn't understand why Grandpa came back from heaven but doesn't want to see him. That landed hard. You told him I came back from heaven? What was I supposed to say? That I lied? That we lied? Yes. He's 7. Old enough to learn that actions have consequences. Michael got in his truck. Sat there for a minute with the engine running, then drove away. I closed the door, stood in my entryway, the one Linda had insisted on painting yellow because it was cheerful, and felt absolutely nothing. No, that wasn't true. I felt relief. Monday morning, my neighbor Carol knocked. She's 73, widow. We talk sometimes when we're both getting mail. Harold, she said, I saw Michael here yesterday. Everything okay? Everything's fine. Because I saw on Facebook that you died, and then I saw you mowing your lawn, and I was very confused. My son posted the wrong photos. She looked at me for a long moment. No, he didn't. I didn't say anything. Jessica posted about your funeral 6 days ago. I commented, sent flowers to the funeral home. Then I saw you taking out your trash and nearly had a heart attack. I'm sorry about the flowers. Harold, what happened? And for some reason, maybe because she wasn't family, maybe because she'd sent flowers, maybe because I was just tired, I told her all of it. The life insurance, the fraud, the arrest, the money I'd given them, the calls that never came. She listened, didn't interrupt. When I finished, she said, Good. Good that you finally stopped letting them bleed you dry. I've watched it for years. Them showing up only when they needed something. You dropping everything to help. Linda saw it too. She told me once she was worried about what would happen to you after she was gone. She said that? She said you'd give them everything and end up alone. She was right. I felt something crack in my chest. I don't know how to be his father and not help him. That's not your job anymore. Your job was to raise him. You did that. He's a grown man. What he does now is on him. He's going to prison. Then maybe he'll learn something. She left. I went inside, sat at the table where Linda used to balance our checkbook. Opened my laptop, found my bank account, looked at the transfers, the pattern of money leaving and nothing coming back. Changed my password, added security questions, set up alerts for any transactions over $100, called the car finance company. I need to remove myself as co-signer from account. I gave them the account number. Are you sure, sir? The primary borrower is currently behind 3 payments. Removing yourself as co-signer could result in vehicle repossession. I'm sure. Updated my life insurance policy. Changed the beneficiary. Instead of Michael, I put the local hospice care center. The one that had helped Linda in her final weeks. The one where the nurses had been kind and patient and treated her like she mattered. Called my lawyer. Daniel, I need to update my will. I can have new documents ready by Friday. Make Michael's inheritance $1. Silence. Then, you're sure? Everything else goes to charity, hospice care, cancer research, the Humane Society, organizations that do good work. This will hurt him. He hurt me first. Friday, I signed the new will, drove home, made dinner, watched the news, went to bed at 10 like always, lay in the dark thinking about Benny, 7 years old, told his grandfather was dead, then told he wasn't, then told he couldn't see him. None of it was his fault. Saturday morning, I called Michael. He answered on the first ring. Dad, I want to see Benny. I don't think that's a good idea. I'm his grandfather. You're the reason his mother's facing felony charges. His mother's the reason his mother's facing felony charges. I want to see Benny, supervised, wherever you want. You can be there the whole time. Pause. When? Today. 1 hour. The park. Jessica's lawyer said we shouldn't. I'm not asking Jessica. I'm asking you. Does your son get to see his grandfather or not? Longer pause. Riverside Park, 2 o'clock. I got there early, sat on a bench near the playground, watched kids on swings, parents pushing strollers, normal families doing normal things. Michael's truck pulled up at 2:07. He got out, helped Benny out of the car seat. Benny saw me. Froze. Grandpa? Hey, buddy. He looked at Michael. But you said... I was wrong, Michael said quietly. Grandpa's not dead. Benny ran to me, stopped 3 feet away, looked at me like I might be a ghost. Are you real? I'm real. Can I touch you? Yeah. He reached out, touched my hand, smiled. You're warm. Living people usually are. He hugged me, hard. I put my arms around him and felt something in my chest break completely. I missed you, he said. I missed you too. Michael stood by the truck, watching, face unreadable. Want to play on the swings? I asked Benny. Can we? For a little while. We went to the swings. I pushed him. Not too high, just enough. He laughed, talked about school, about his friend Mason, about the lizard he'd seen in the backyard. Normal kid stuff. Didn't mention the funeral, didn't mention heaven, just lived in this moment where his grandpa was pushing him on a swing. After 30 minutes, Michael called out, Time to go, Benny. All ready? We've got to get groceries. Benny hugged me again. Can I see you next week? I looked at Michael. He looked away. We'll see, buddy. That means no, Benny said. Smart kid. Why? It's complicated. You always say that. Michael came over, took Benny's hand. Come on. But now. They walked to the truck. Benny looked back twice, waved. I waved back. Michael strapped him in, closed the door, walked back to me. He's not supposed to know about any of this. The lawyer said it's better if he just thinks you moved away or something. So, you're going to lie to him again? I'm trying to protect him by keeping him away from his grandfather. You chose this. No, you chose this when you committed fraud. Everything's not black and white, Dad. Life is complicated. People make mistakes. Sometimes you have to do things you're not proud of to survive. You weren't surviving. You were thriving. New furniture, big TV, expensive toys. You weren't starving. You were overspending. You don't understand what it's like to be our age right now. You're right. When I was your age, I had a job, a mortgage, and a kid, just like you. But I didn't fake anyone's death. He stared at me. You're never going to forgive me. I don't know yet. Jessica's pregnant. That stopped me cold. What? 3 months. We just found out. Another reason we needed money. Daycare for 2 kids. Medical bills. Everything. And you didn't think to tell me? Would you have helped? Or would you have lectured us about budgeting? I would have helped. I always help. That's the problem. He nodded slowly. Yeah, I guess it is. He walked to his truck, got in, drove away. Benny waved from the back window until they turned the corner. I sat on the bench, watched the sky turn orange. Families packed up, went home. The park emptied. My phone buzzed. Text from a number I didn't recognize. Mr. Morrison, this is Detective Sarah Walsh. We need you to come in to give an additional statement regarding the insurance fraud case. Can you come to the station Monday at 10 a.m.? I texted back. I'll be there. Another text, this one from Michael. Jessica says the baby's due in March. It's a girl. She wants to name her Linda, after Mom. I looked at that message for a long time. They were going to name the baby after Linda, the woman whose china cabinet they'd taken, who they'd grieved for 90 minutes before Michael said he had to get back to work, who they'd barely mentioned since. They were going to use her name. I didn't respond. That night I dreamed about Linda. We were young, maybe 30, in our first house, the small one on Maple Street, before we moved to this one. Michael was little, maybe 3, playing with blocks on the floor. He's going to break your heart, Linda said in the dream. You know that. He's 3. I'm not talking about now. I woke up at 2 a.m., the house silent, empty, got up, made coffee, sat at the table, thought about a baby girl named Linda who would be born in March to parents facing felony charges. Monday at 10 a.m., I went to the police station, gave my statement to Detective Walsh. She was maybe 40, professional, kind. The district attorney is moving forward with charges, she said. Your son and daughter-in-law are looking at multiple felony counts, insurance fraud, identity theft, wire fraud. If convicted, they're facing 5 to 10 years each. Each? They both participated, both signed documents, both benefited. They're kids. I understand this is difficult. They have a 7-year-old, another on the way. I know. What happens to the kids if they both go to prison? Usually other family members, or foster care if no one's available. I thought about Benny, about a baby girl named Linda, about them in foster care because their parents faked my death. Is there any way to reduce the charges? Detective Walsh looked at me carefully. The insurance company has some flexibility. If full restitution is made and they're willing to drop the civil suit, the DA might be willing to negotiate. Reduce felony to misdemeanor, probation, instead of prison. How much restitution? The claim was for $250,000, plus legal fees and investigation costs, probably $275,000 total. I didn't have $275,000. I had the house, retirement savings, some investments. If I liquidated everything, maybe I could get close. If someone paid the restitution, I asked slowly, would that help? It would help, but it wouldn't erase what they did. I nodded, thanked her, left, drove home, sat in my driveway, looked at the house Linda and I had paid off in 2003, 21 years free and clear, our dream, our security, our legacy, called Daniel. I need to know what my house is worth. Harold, don't. Just tell me. The market's strong, probably $380,000, maybe more. And if I liquidate my retirement accounts? Harold, how much? He sighed. With the 401k, IRA, and savings, roughly $200,000. But you'll take a massive tax hit if you cash out early. Total available? Maybe $450,000 if you sell everything. That's not including penalties and taxes. Net, you're looking at maybe $320,000. Enough to cover the restitution. Enough to destroy your security. You'll have nothing. No house, no retirement, no cushion. What are you going to live on? Social Security? That's $1,800 a month. You can't live on that. People do. Harold, don't do this. They committed a crime. Let them face the consequences. Their kids didn't commit a crime. Their kids aren't your responsibility. Yes, they are. I hung up, sat in my car in my driveway thinking about what Linda would say. She'd say I was being stupid. She'd say Michael needed to learn. She'd say destroying my security for his mistakes was insane. She'd be right. But she'd also say that baby girl didn't deserve to be born while her mother was in prison. That Benny didn't deserve to lose both parents. That family was complicated and messy, and sometimes you did stupid things because love made you stupid. She'd said that once, when Michael was 17 and crashed her car, and I wanted to make him pay for the repairs himself. Love makes you stupid, she'd said. That's how you know it's real. I got out of the car, went inside, called the insurance company. This is Harold Morrison. I need to speak to someone about the fraud case. They transferred me 3 times. Finally got someone who mattered. Mr. Morrison, what can I do for you? I want to pay the restitution. I'm sorry? The $250,000 claim, plus costs. I'll pay it, all of it, in exchange for dropping the charges. Pause. Mr. Morrison, you're the victim here. You don't owe us anything. I'm aware. But if I pay, will you drop the civil suit and work with the DA to reduce charges? That's unusual. Will you do it? Another pause. Longer. I'd need to speak with our legal team, but potentially, yes, if full restitution is made and the perpetrators agree to certain conditions. What conditions? Probation, community service, permanent ban from filing claims with our company, possibly counseling. No jail time? I can't promise that. That's up to the DA. But if we're made whole and asking for leniency, it helps. I'll have the money within 2 weeks. Mr. Morrison, 2 weeks. I hung up, called a realtor, listed the house, called my financial advisor, started the process of liquidating everything, called Daniel. It's done, I said. I'm paying the restitution. You're making a mistake. Probably. Where are you going to live? I'll figure it out. Harold. It's done, Daniel. The house sold in 4 days. Over asking, $395,000. Young couple, 2 kids. They loved the backyard. The wife cried when she saw Linda's kitchen. It's perfect, she said. I thought about Linda painting that kitchen yellow, choosing those cabinets, standing at that sink for 30 years. It's yours, I said. Closing was scheduled for 3 weeks out. I had 1 month to pack 45 years of marriage into boxes and leave. I didn't tell Michael, didn't tell anyone except Daniel and the realtor. Just started packing, room by room, Linda's clothes, my tools, the photo albums, the furniture. Some of it I sold, some I donated, some I threw away. Found things I'd forgotten, cards from Michael's childhood, Mother's Day cards to Linda in crayon. I love you, Mommy. A Father's Day card with a handprint. Best dad ever. Put those in a box. Labeled it Michael. Taped it shut. The day before closing, Michael called. Dad, the DA offered a plea deal. What kind of deal? Misdemeanor fraud. 3 years probation, 200 hours community service, $5,000 fine each, no jail time. That's good? It's because someone paid the restitution. Full restitution. The insurance company dropped their suit. That's good. Dad, who paid it? Does it matter? Was it you? I looked around my empty house. Boxes everywhere, walls bare, everything packed except the furniture that came with the house. The built-ins I couldn't take. The memories I couldn't pack. Was it you? Michael asked again. Take the deal. Dad, what did you do? Take the deal, Michael. Keep your family together. Be a better father than I was. What are you talking about? I taught you that someone would always catch you, that there were no real consequences, that you could fail and I'd fix it. That was wrong. This is the last time. Do you understand? The last time. Where are you? Taking the deal? Yes, but... Good. I hung up, turned off my phone, finished packing. The next day I closed on the house, signed the papers, handed over the keys, walked out of the house where Linda died, where Michael grew up, where I'd lived for 43 years, got in my car, drove to a motel on the edge of town, $220 a week, monthly rates available, kitchenette, Wi-Fi, a bed, a shower, everything I needed, moved in, unpacked the essentials, left everything else in a storage unit, $85 a month, climate-controlled, sat on the motel bed, looked around. 1 room, thin walls, highway noise outside, everything I owned in 12 boxes. My phone, I'd turned it back on, showed 43 missed calls from Michael, 17 from Jessica, dozens of texts, One text from Michael. Mom would be so disappointed in you. I stared at that for a long time, then typed back. She'd be disappointed in both of us. Blocked his number. Blocked Jessica's. Put the phone down. Lay back on the bed. Stared at the ceiling. Water-stained. Cracks in the plaster. I was 71 years old. Living in a motel. Net worth roughly $8,000 after paying restitution, taxes, penalties, and first month's rent. Social Security depositing $1,047 every month. Just enough for rent, food, gas. Nothing left over. No cushion, no safety net, no house to pass down. No legacy except debt I'd paid for someone else's crime. Linda would call me an idiot. She'd be right. But Benny still had his parents. A baby girl named Linda would be born to a mother not in prison. A 7-year-old wouldn't grow up in foster care wondering why his grandfather let his parents go to jail. Maybe that was worth it. Maybe it wasn't. I'd find out. For now, I had a motel room and a bed and enough money for groceries. That was enough. It had to be. 3 months later, I got a card in the mail. The motel manager handed it to me. Forwarded from your old address. Birth announcement. Pink. Linda Rose Morrison, 7 Tau Silbies 4 Oz, born March 3rd. Photo inside. Baby with dark hair, wrapped in a blanket. Michael holding her. Jessica next to him. Benny kissing her forehead. No note. No message. Just the announcement. I put it on the dresser in my motel room, next to the photo of Linda I'd kept. Looked at both of them. We did something right, I told Linda's photo. Maybe. The baby looked like Michael when he was born. Same nose, same chin. I wondered if she'd have his eyes, if she'd have Linda's smile, if she'd grow up knowing her grandfather sold everything to keep her parents out of prison. Probably not. Probably Michael would never tell her, would never tell either of them, would let them grow up thinking Grandpa lived in a motel because he was old and poor and unlucky. That was okay. They didn't need to know. They just needed to be okay. I got a job 3 weeks after the baby was born. Maintenance work at a storage facility. $15 an hour. 25 hours a week. Not much. But it gave me something to do. Kept me moving. Came home to the motel every night. Made dinner on the hot plate. Watched TV on the 12-inch screen. Lay in bed listening to trucks on the highway. Sometimes I wondered if Michael ever drove past the house, the one I'd sold. If he noticed it was gone. If he figured it out. If he felt anything. Sometimes I wondered if Benny asked about me. If he remembered the swings. If he told his baby sister about the grandpa who came back from heaven and then disappeared again. Most times I tried not to wonder at all. Just got up, went to work, came home, made dinner, slept, repeated. 71 years old, living in a motel, working maintenance, alone. But Benny had his parents. Linda Rose had her family. That was something. Maybe not enough, but something. If you liked this story, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions in the comments. To listen to more stories, click on the window on the right. Thank you for being with us.